Okay, today we are talking about my clients' biggest fears before they start their one-on-one coaching program with me. Before we start, spots in my one-on-one coaching program are now open, so head to the link in my bio, apply for your spot, and I'm gonna probably solve your biggest question or answer your biggest question in this live right now. So stay tuned, but after you watch this, go apply because this program will change your life. I'm gonna tell you 2 client stories today. First, I'm gonna tell you about Stephanie. Second, I'm gonna tell you about Haley. Because these women had very similar fears going into their program with me. So Stephanie and I had our call together. So here's how it works. You apply for a spot in the program. I read your application. I contact you via the number on the application that you leave. We set up a time to talk on the phone where I answer all your questions about the program. So Stephanie and I had that call, and she was like, yeah, this sounds like what I need, and I just need to think about it. And whenever somebody on their application says they're like an 8, a 9, a 10, like, yeah, I'm like ready to do this. I want to change the way I approach food. I want to change my result. And we're on the phone and they're all excited about it. And then they're like, oh, well, I have to think about it. My question always is, well, what do you have to think about? And not in a judging way, but I just want to make sure that I answer all the questions that you have so that you can make the best decision for yourself. And she was like, I don't know. She's like, I just have to think if this is like the right time, if this is something I want to invest in. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to give her some time. I know she would be perfect for this program, but again, I'm not going to like push and force her to make a decision she's not ready to make, right? So about 3 or 4 days go by, I think. And so I asked her, I sent her a text and I was like, what are you thinking? And she's like, I don't know, I'm really nervous. I'm like, okay, well, what are you nervous about? And she said, what if this doesn't work? She had been on so many diets that gave her some kind of result up front, but she couldn't maintain it. Not that she couldn't maintain it, but the diet wasn't sustainable, so the results wouldn't be sustainable, right? So she had been off and on all of these diets, and she's like, well, what's to say that this is gonna actually work for me? And what I said to her is, at a basic level, you don't know if it's going to work until you try it. Just like you did with all those other diets. Now, I understand how this feels like there's a lot more skin in the game, right? It's not a cheap program. It's not a free weight loss program, right? You're investing a good chunk of money, a good chunk of time into this. So you won't know it will work unless you try. And also, you've never tried anything like this before. This is totally brand new. How I approach food and nutrition with my clients is completely different than how Weight Watchers and Noom and whatever else, how they approach it, right? Actually, my brand new one-on-one client was just telling me the other day, she's like, Noom is just like Weight Watchers, but it doesn't seem like it because their marketing is so clever, right? You're still tracking all your food. You're still doing all of that stuff. The way I approach nutrition with my clients, we don't track food. You might track it for 5 days in the beginning, but that's about it. We don't worry about calories. We don't worry about macros. What I teach you to do is learn your body. Learn when you're physically hungry. Learn when you're emotionally eating, and then how to manage those emotions without food. That's what we do, and that's what makes this program so different. And so, like I said to Stephanie, if you're really ready to do something completely different that you've never tried before to get the result that you want so badly, this program, you can't fail. You can't fail as long as you're ready to show up and do the work. If you do what I tell you to do, you're not going to fail. And what I ask you to do isn't anything crazy. Again, it's not tracking macros, it's not tracking calories, it's not counting anything. You don't have to do any math. That's probably the best part about this program. Neither of us have to do math. What I ask you to do is things like, when you notice that you're emotionally eating, just write down what that feeling is, or just write down what it is that made you feel that way, or text me and say, I'm doing this and I don't know why, and then we work through it together. What I also do with my clients is I look at, like I said, in the first 5 days or so, you will track your food. I'll look at that food journal with you, and then we'll make the smallest manipulation, one at a time. to your current routine, to your current diet, just to improve it a little bit. And that always has a ripple effect where, for the most part, after the first 3 or 4 weeks, we don't have to manipulate your food at all. You're just good to go there. What we do instead is work on the mindset stuff, which is really fun because that's how the lasting results come. So with Stephanie, she signed up. She did what I said immediately off the bat. We got to work. She would text me when she needed to. She would show up to her coaching calls. She started portioning out her snacks. So she would do this thing where she would do like a continuous meal like all day because she was working at home. So she would just like always be going to the snack cabinet, grabbing a handful of crackers here, a handful there, eating right out of the box. So what she started doing was saying, okay, I'm going to give myself X number of crackers per day. I don't have to eat them all at once. I can spread them out throughout the day and let's see how that works. And it worked like a charm. She did a lot of little things like that to change up her current like routine. And suddenly her jeans were too big. She texted me one day and she's like, I don't know if this is real or not. I'm not really sure if I'm actually getting these results, but my jeans feel really big. And then the next time we got on the phone, she's like, yeah, I need a belt. She's like, I don't know. Like my pants are practically falling off. And she said the really cool part was she was like, what I love is she was stressed out one day and she's like, all right, I just want to go get a burger. I just want to go get a burger and fries because that's going to make me feel better. And she was able to pause and think like, okay, is that really going to make me feel better? Probably not. So I'm going to stick to the lunch that I brought. And if I still want a burger later, I can go get it. And she didn't end up going to get it, but she said that was the best part of the program for her, is that she finally felt like she had a say. She finally felt like she had a choice in what she ate and when she ate. And she was understanding more why her cravings were coming up. And she was understanding more why, ooh, when I get stressed, I just want that burger, but that's not actually going to make me feel better. So let me do the thing that's going to actually make me feel better. And then if I still want the thing, I can go get it, right? So much freedom in that. I'm so proud of her. So I don't know why my phone keeps going down. I hope this is recording. And now I want to tell you about Haley. And I've talked about Haley before, but this is my favorite Haley story. So she started working with me in a Jumpstart program that I did, I think back in August. And in that program, I was talking about the importance of developing these happy people habits. Because guess what? People who are happy, now, disclaimer, nobody's happy all the time. I understand that there are people struggling with anxiety, struggling with depression, and so you just do the best you can with what you have. Okay, but I was talking about how happy people tend to just make healthier choices easier because we're not bogged down by stress and feelings and emotions. And so we're less likely to head to the snack cabinet all day long to deal with that stuff because we're just feeling generally good 50% of the time. Which is the goal, right? Life is 50-50. It's 50% great, it's 50% not so great, but it's how we navigate the not so great and the in-between that really matters, right? So I was saying during those times that aren't so great, if we have these happy people habits that we just do on a regular basis, it makes navigating those hard times that much easier. And so Haley said to me like, yeah, that sounds great. And like, it would be cool to feel happy, but like, how is being happy going to help me lose weight? She was just not convinced that this was the way to do it because, again, she was coming from this place of hardcore dieting, hardcore restriction, of doing these 30-day programs where she would lose a bunch of weight fast and then inevitably gain it all back, right? And so I was like, you know what? You don't have to believe me right now, but you do have to try. You do just have to, again, do what I tell you to do. Start doing things that make you feel good. Start thinking thoughts that make you feel good. Start engaging in habits that make you feel good, and then just watch it happen. And so Haley did that program with me. Then she joined my membership group, and then she bumped up to one-on-one coaching with me because she was really ready to drive her results. And holy crap, she is doing so amazing. I mean, you guys can scroll through my feed and see her little story write-up that I wrote about her. But she's doing incredible. And it started with a healthy dose of skepticism on her part, but still showing up and doing the work. So here's the thing. If your biggest fear is that moderation and mindfulness won't work for you, that's fine. But I'm telling you, if you're willing to show up, if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to invest your time and your energy into a program like my one-on-one coaching program, there is no way it will not work for you. There's absolutely no way. And let's just talk really quick, like at a calorie level, exactly how this works. This is what I see happening with my clients. They'll eat really well Monday through Thursday, and then the weekend is like a shit show. They are just going all out eating and drinking and doing all the things and then starting over every Monday. Sure, a lot of you guys can relate to that. I know I can. What we do is we spread those foods out like the pizza, like the wine, like the crackers with Stephanie. We spread that out over the course of a week. So it's not like a binge or like a junk fest over the course of 2 or 3 days. We spread a smaller amount out over every day. And so naturally, the calories get less and less and less. Here's a real life example from me. You guys, if you've been following me for any amount of time, probably know my Pop-Tart story, right? When I was binge eating, Pop-Tarts were like my thing. I would eat a box practically every day, a box. There are 6 to 8 in a box. I was eating those every day. Do the math there. What I started doing instead was, okay, let me have see if I can have 4 today and then 4 tomorrow, which turned into 2 today, 2 tomorrow, 2 the next day, 2 the next day, which then turned to 1 every day, which then turned out like it, which then turned into not wanting them at all. And so instead of let's just say 1,000 calories worth of Pop-Tarts every day, I cut it down to 500 and then 250 and then 125 and then none. And so when we spread it out like that and you allow yourself a little bit of something you love every day instead of all jumbled together in one day in one go, it's the simplest way to cut calories. It's the simplest way to lose body fat, right? You're just doing it in a more mindful way rather than just slashing your calories and feeling miserable. So my phone's going to die. That's why it keeps going black on me. So I'm going to end there. But that's my clients' biggest fears, and that's how I solve them. That's how we work together to solve their biggest fears. It's fine to be skeptical. It's fine to have questions. I love that. I love when my clients come to calls with questions because I love helping them solve their problems. That's why I'm a coach, right? So that said, applications for my one-on-one program are open right now. Head to the link in my bio, apply for your spot. This will work for you if you're willing to work it. I promise. I promise. This is why I offer a 14-day money-back guarantee. If you're not happy with how things are going in the 14 days, I give you your money back and you go on your way, right? But I've never had that happen before. Because if you show up and you do the work, you're going to get the results. That's just fact. That's just what it is. And I will help you and I will be there with you every step of the way. Head to the link in my bio, apply for your spot. Let's get you going this week. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.